Oh, actually, I just need to.
Right.
There you go.
Sorry, I don't know why I've got a laugh in me.
Oh well, good news today and all that sort of stuff. So, of course, it's normal.
Right. You'll breathe a deep sigh as you look down at your restrained foe, beaten within an inch of his life and stripped of 2 of his 4 arms. Ghald lies in a puddle of black blood. There was a moment in the fight where you thought it could have been too much. The relief starts to settle in. Your senses now awakening back into the natural sound of trees swaying in the wind. In the night breeze, the dappled moonlight draping you all in a white sheen. The smell of scorched earth from the many lightning bolts that struck the ground around you. Out in the distance, you see Zephyros's tower slowly careening through the sky. Atop its lone magical cloud, a straggling albatross rider swiftly hit with a bolt of magic that comes from the tower's open walls. And you stand within the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. 100 miles north of you lies the frozen tundra of the spine of the world. And as you look at each other once more, a small snowflake falls to the ground and settles for a while before it slowly melts away. Your next destination, Beirun as well, another sacred site to the ancient Ungat tribes, and where you believe another vestige lies. Unless, like other times, you've been beaten by the mysterious Artus Kaimba. As you stand around your defeated foe, what do you do?
Unger is still reeling from his blinding rage. And he's just kind of standing back and still heaving. His chest is still heaving.
I need to remind everyone as you look at Unger. Unger is hairless, completely bald, covered in smatters of black blood from where he has been just pounding at Ghald.
Can I make a constitution check to basically grow back all my hair, similar to how Homer Simpson, when Homer Simpson shaves, it's just his hair just comes back.
I was thinking that'll by tomorrow you'd be hairy again.
The DC on this is a 20.
Do you want a check or a save?
Let's do a save.
Come on, mate.
Oh,
I wanted to see it.
It's a really bad roll.
As Unger looks up into the moonlight, watching Zephyros's tower, just like this final blast on an albatross rider, you just see the moonlight shimmering off his sweating hairless body.
Does he already have a 5 o'clock shadow though? That's already returned, right?
And
No,
Medica comes to the side and looks at Unger from head to toe, like, nice.
Shiny head man. What?
And I'm wondering, do I have mirror or is my shield like shiny? Like, give it a little mirror.
I'd say that you'd be able to shine up your shield enough to be able to show him the reflection.
And show it to Unger.
Unger leans into the shield. Oh! That's a similar reaction to like a chimp looking in the mirror for the first time.
Yes.
It's like holding his head.
That Planet of the Apes meme was like, oh no!
Oh no!
Like now speaks with like a higher pitched voice the entire time.
Yeah, he very much looks like a bald chimpanzee at this moment. Still just like rippling muscle, but very strange without hair.
Some parts of body hair is still burning a little bit.
Yeah.
But also, now that I've come forward next to Unga, turn my attention to the almost unconscious assailant, and remember the words he uttered during the battle, and start digging up some stuff from my purse, my purse, my pouch. Same letter, purse or pouch, right? And also come down to him and try to slap him and see if he's awake.
As you slap the amphibious face of Ghald, he is not awake. He is, after just seeing what Unger has put him through, you're surprised there is even any pulse left in his body.
I'll give a medium punch to the head as well.
Okay.
He's dead.
Now he's dead.
I'm not pulling my punch and punching like a slight little
A little bonk to the noggin, perhaps.
Yeah,
kept in frustration of not getting to getting up
Something-
close and personal.
That's good. Yeah,
Something
I was
like
gonna say, yeah, after the last session, Sam messaged me. I can't remember what exactly he said, but I was like, I showed him the rolls of the death saving throws that Ghald was pulling with every punch. It's like, yeah, this could have been any fountain of information gone to you. But anyway,
Zero regrets,
As you-
fully deserved.
yeah.
That's what I'm say.
as you bonk Ghald's head, it just kind of rolls over into the snowy into the snowy ground that's now starting to build up as small snowflakes start to now pick up, and you will start to realize, I'd say, that cold that you've not felt in a while. You've been more in the kind of temperate mid ground of the Sword Coast up until now, and you started to venture even further north, and in these mountains, the familiar cold that you experienced in the Icewind Dale is starting to come back to you.
And
Well-
before going, before we going further, after the punch, I just mutter myself in frustration and spare the dying, just to be sure.
I
While
say,
this is
Shamash,
going on-
should get a fire started.
Oh, yeah.
You would know. You're
Yes.
probably thinking about it. I would think we could do it at the
Well, yes, of
bonfire
course.
right now. You're the bonfire man, after all.
Exactly what I was doing.
Oh.
Like a nice warm bonfire next to them, and also uses his breath weapons to cauterize where he's slashed off the arms of Ghald. So just so Ghald is not bleeding out profusely after taking his arms off.
Yeah.
I think Unger has one of his arms now, doesn't he?
Yes.
Still
does.
thinking of that meme Andy posted. Was it like, I didn't want to kill him. I just wanted to chop his arms off, cut his eyes out.
And Unger, going back to the arms, I think in the last session you asked to take one of the arms from Shamash.
Yeah.
And where did you put it in your bag of holding?
Yeah, it's in the bag of holding.
I would say that you would notice that as you put that arm in the bag, you see a familiar tattoo on the arm. You've seen the tattoo on Lady Italia, for example, and others that you have stopped.
Would Shamash have noticed that as he gave it to...
Oh, 100%. You were chopping the
Okay,
arms
yeah.
off.
Yeah, okay, just double checking.
Yeah, you would have seen it as well, sorry.
Imagine the bag of holding is almost like kind of cellar where they cure Iberian ham, because it's basically there's no air in there, so just sort of cures perfect.
Nothing really deteriorates, yeah.
Yeah,
No bacteria can get in.
yeah, no bacteria.
Sprinkled
It's
some
actually
white mold
a-
in there as well.
A
Just
good survival mechanism. One day we're stuck in the desert. You've still at least got a bunch of cured arms.
Speaking of
I might.
Iberian ham,
Dry
at this point,
fermented.
I'm imagining Abard's coming over towards the heat on his spectral grandfather still, going, "Ah yes, camp at last, brilliance!" And he turns around and goes, "Ah yes, Emmerich," and hops off his horse with a clink and goes, "Best retrieve the comrade," and starts like slowly looking to winch up the remains.
Well, so the last that happened,
I can't. Maybe I got that wrong.
Abard's grandfather was actually reduced.
Oh no,
so-
he got reduced with Emmerich.
Yeah, so we're gonna
Like
see
Yeah.
whether if he summons him back is.
In that case, he would definitely, rather than walk to the campsite, he would summon his grandfather. And then
How long
use
does it
him
take him to? How long does it take him to summon his steed?
As long
think
as
it's
it
instant.
takes.
5 or 10 minutes or something.
Oh,
I
is it?
think
Okay.
it's about 10 minutes or so.
Really?
I think so.
Feel like
Oh, wow.
is it basically find steed? I think is basically the spell it goes from. Takes him 10 minutes.
I'm imagining he's like 20 foot away from everyone, just going, like, working on summoning his grandfather because he doesn't want to walk over to the campsite. He wants to come in as a noble victor, and of course that is will be done on horseback.
Nice. Okay.
Cool.
I'm just wondering whether or not Emmerich's soul was also dragged via the rope into the nether realm.
I think
And will it be summoned back?
we might find out.
Attached to the horse? Who knows?
Yeah, summoned screaming. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, just with an arrow in his head. This ghostly figure with an arrow in his head.
Constantly screaming. Ah! Hello, Emmerich.
Just part of Abard's horse now.
A fate worse than
Find
death.
out
you
in 10
might-
minutes.
Unger his rage has sort of subsided mostly, and seeing this tattoo on his arm of Ghald, he's going to wonder if there's anything else and start to rummage around his person and see if he's carrying anything in a pouch or in a fold of his cloak or anything like that.
He's completely unconscious. There's nothing you need to roll for this. You look at his person and you look down at his armor. And you look at his belt. All that you see are his 2 daggers clipped to both sides of his belt. You see a garrote. But other than that, you see nothing in the way of satchel. There are no supplies, no rations, not even water. Maybe he left his supplies elsewhere, but it's pretty evident that he was wearing all he needed for this moment.
Is there any? I guess there's no. Unger would be also curious to find another conch. I was just wondering if there's a conch anywhere on him.
No, nothing.
Well, in that case, definitely going to disarm him. Going to take his weapons off him. And
Tim
then
Ash has
sort of-
already literally disarmed him.
Yeah.
The other 2 arms are in manacles, remember?
I would say looking at his armor is it looks like it's almost like a mix of between shell and what at first you think is hide, but then as you touch it, it seems to be something different, a different type of organic material, but so cured, so hardened, but very lightweight. It's an armor that would be useful, absolutely, for anyone that wore lightweight material.
I'm just going to turn around to the party and say, cool armor may be good for light person or tiny person.
Oh, it's too big for me, mate. Besides, I'd feel uncomfortable wearing that.
I could try it on if it went round my scales, but I don't usually wear them. Tends to hold me back a bit.
Mate, honestly, I'd just sell it, says Nubs, shrugging his shoulders.
Well, let me try it on, see if I feel any safer.
I'm just going to stand back to let Shamash undress Ghald, I suppose.
So Shamash bends down and tries to find, presumably, the clasp or whatever's holding it together, because I imagine it's in two bits. Is it kind of like a cuirass? Just over his chest, or...?
Yeah, exactly. Let me share a picture so you can actually kind of see a little bit more of what his full body looks like, so you can see it. I'll share it in D&D Beyond. I think this works. So you can kind of see here, it's kind of like a...
I see, yeah. So it's got some bits that go down. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
Is he farting in that picture?
He is farting.
Wouldn't it have like 4 armholes as opposed to 2?
Well, it depends where the arms are. But yes.
Looking at where his arms are, they're all from kind of very like the second set of arms are very under where the first are. So like almost like in the armpits, the others. So it just has large holes.
Big armholes, yeah.
And also like in terms of like the logistics of items in D&D, like there's an element of the item will shape to the bearer.
So yeah, Shamash unclasps it, takes bits off, takes off his cloaks and tries to fit it on him. See if it feels comfortable on him. On his scales.
What type of armor do you currently wear?
None.
You now have a +2 hide armor.
+2 hide armor.
The amphibian beast now. I assume you've not taken his blackened cloak, but he is now completely naked. Other than a small, he does wear a kind of like a sash around his mid waist. But yes, you've taken his armor, you've taken his weapons. So the daggers I can give whoever is going to take them a description. But there is also a garrote, which comes with its own thing. So whoever's taking what, let me know, and I'll put them into D&D Beyond.
Cool. Could
or
the
you can
daggers
decide to share them around at the end, whatever.
Would the daggers work roughly as short swords as well? Are they kind of comparable, or what's the?
Yeah. For definitely for like your size Nubs, they would double up.
Okay.
Unger's not interested in any of these puny weapons.
I wouldn't mind borrowing some of those daggers if you guys are okay with sharing.
No. Take it. Unger hands them over.
We give.
He's gonna dangle the garrote. What is this?
I believe that's what they call a weapon for absolute cowards, so you can throw that just down the ravine there, says Nubs.
I'd like to give it to Curry, as he's good with his hands.
Commander Curry.
Yeah.
Assassin Curry.
Just coming up behind people. Shh, 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 shh.
Yeah.
Just puts them out. Oh, what awful death that would be, Jesus.
He's so strong as well, it's ideal.
Okay. Unger kind of extends them towards Curry.
I think Curry's poisoned currently, if I remember correctly, though.
Yes.
Curry's just
Slowly drying out.
Now, to be fair, the poison effect only lasts 1 minute, and of what the effect was. I can't remember the exact spell, but I remember looking back, and it only lasted 1 minute. The duration of it. So you would look over at Kuruhi, and he's looking. I think the last roll we did, he lost more HP than he gained based on everyone's healing. So whatever he's on right now, I would say he takes 2 levels of exhaustion.
Okay.
I know that's a bit harder to track because he's not a full character sheet, but yeah, just go in with the fact that he's basically got 2 levels of exhaustion. He has a drained mushroom of an orangutan.
Yeah, I'm tracking it on one of the bars, so I'll keep that there. And update his
Cool.
nice. I'm
I'm
definitely
just going to
handing
take
him
a
the cloak
cloak
then.
as well.
You're going to take his cloak. Cool. You have a
Yeah.
nice long barnacle layered cloak, black. It is slightly damp, and it's got some holes in it, but yes.
Ooh, does he have religious symbols on him anywhere?
You look at the. You would have seen across his arms, the tattoo, the tattoo. Sorry, the arm that was removed. You saw these tattoos. Those are the symbols that you saw. And the one thing that you do see. Let me see if I can find you an image. If I can share. On one of the shoulder plates of the armor that does that work? Yeah. You got to use your imagination a little bit here, but in terms of on one of the shoulder pads of the armor that Shamash is now wearing, you see a symbol that would resonate with you, Medica, and that is the crashing waves of Umberly.
Is Shamash wearing the armor yet, or is he just looking at it? Or
No, he's put it on now.
okay.
He's trying it on. It fits quite nicely. He's happy with it.
Can I take a little closer look and with the intention of trying to quickly desecrate the symbol?
Oi, hands off my app.
If you're trying to desecrate,
Scribble it out or something.
run me a
Nice.
religion check as you're trying to desecrate it.
Okay, that previous was just my own rolling.
Yeah,
Just know that. Okay, yeah.
How do you desecrate it?
I want to inscribe something really quick and small that basically, like, you know, when people graffiti tags everywhere, and then you come in and like wipe it over and put your something else on there. Basically, just getting my kind of a symbol in there to remind that symbol that it has been defeated.
Yeah, for sure. So, and for most of you, I would say, I'm going to say that everyone has a base grasp. Everyone would have a base grasp of the pantheon of gods. Umberly, recognized by the crashing waves, is the queen of the depths. She is ultimately the queen of the sea. Some of you would know her by the name the Wave Mother, some the Sea Queen, but she's also known by the derogatory name that I would imagine Medica would know her as is the Bitch Queen. And I would say you would also... Yeah, fuck it. I think that you would know the fact that for those of you that know of Umberly, that you know her as being part of as part of the Gods of Fury. Gods of Fury is a chaotic group, almost like a micro pantheon within the pantheon of gods. Self-serving, they're forces of nature, and they demand utter obedience from their priests. And if you know the name Umberly, you know that ultimately that ladders up into Talos.
That I inscribe some Harry Potter lightning bolts in there really quickly with like a knife scraping into the armor, just on top of the... Nothing too major, just that on top of it.
I say you scratched my armor.
I flip him a cold coin. Here's your payment.
At this stage,
Well,
you
good
hear
work,
as you see Abar just pop up on top of his horse 20 foot away.
Aha! He like strikes a pose, puffs out his chest as much as possible, quickly like brushes off his shoulder and slowly saunters over. He goes, "Victory again, lads. Right, let's get some information out of this bastard."
As you all see Abard trot over with his grandfather, you see this silver thread.
Oh boy.
Naturally, Abard's forgotten. He's too focused on looking important.
I'd imagine Abard has an extremely smug look on his face.
Yeah.
Sat atop his grandfather. 50 feet or so away, you see lying face down in the ground is this silver spectral body lying on the ground, and it is connected to this long silver thread. And Shamash, you would immediately recognize this as being the bulky body of Emmerich.
Come on, Emmerich, stop sleeping. Time to get back to work.
I'm just sort of staring towards Abard, but kind of off to the side in a way that he would know that I'm not looking at him, but it kind of looks like I'm looking at him, but I'm looking past him.
Abard tries to like re-puff his chest out like, "Yes, it's me. I'm here."
Come on, Emmerich, get to work. We've got the fire going. We need some stew.
I'm just gonna look around. Is everyone okay with this? Is this what,
Nubs just shakes his head at you.
what happened?
Is like Finnan's looking over at this point, and he's sort of like looking at the spectral thing. He's like, it can't be. Can I ask? Like, he tries to observe, like, I guess the body. Is it like lying? Is it just like being dragged on the floor in spectral form, like a dead weight, or is he like functioning?
Oh, it's a complete dead weight.
Oh. Oh my god.
Come on, Shamash. Come on, Emmerich, stop lying around. Shamash starts to wander over to the spectral, bulky body of Emmerich.
As you
Emmerich?
wander over and get closer, the body is completely immoving. And I would say, in your impatience, Shamash, you start to think about it logically in your brain. Emmerich was attached to Abard's grandfather when his grandfather died. He was already dead in that state. Did he potentially pass into this ethereal realm in the current state that he was bound? If so, is this a permanent state? looking down at this shimmering body, silver spectral. It has no movement to it, but as Abard's grandfather inches forward, you see the body just slowly sift over the mud. And you realise that, looking at it, that is the movement of a dead body. And looking
Well, this is
back
disturbing.
at
This is
Abard's
nuts.
grandfather, looking and following the silver thread, you realise that this is Emmerich's encapsulated dead body.
His soul is dead as well.
How can a soul be
Abard at
dead?
this point turns around and goes, "Oh, oh no." He turns to his grandfather and goes, "Grandfather, any advice?"
So I don't think Abard can directly speak to his grandfather. I'm
looking for
I
like facial expressions or something.
It'd just be a. Sam definitely gave me some lore a long time ago about his grandfather and the relationship they have. I'm just trying to see if I can find it, but this might be a reach.
I'll have a
In,
quick look at his DB on see if there's anything in there.
Unga's going to approach the edge of the ravine and look for the corporeal form of Emmerich and the real rope and see if it's still there.
The real rope.
Yeah, is Emmerich's
And the real
corpse
body.
still hanging over the ravine? His earthly corpse?
So the rope was attached to his grandfather. So as his grandfather disappeared, the rope would have had nothing physical to connect to. Roll me a perception check as you, I would say, like look over the cliff face and look downwards. And as you look downwards, you see how deep a cavern this is.
Unga
least-
peers over the edge.
At least 500 feet down.
Oh my god.
You see kind of like broken on a rock, his spine just like a triangle lying on a boulder. You see Emmerich. he was already dead before he hit it. Like you saw him die instantaneously from a bolt into the back of the head. So you know that he didn't suffer the pain that you see from afar. But you do wince looking at it, just being, that's one hell of a way to go.
Unga sucks in some air through his teeth. It's going to turn to Shamash. Listen, man. You can fly now.
Yes, unless you want to go.
I fly only sometimes. Not today.
Okay. That's fair.
Maybe you can get his body. We try unite spirit and body. Maybe.
I think the problem with this is this spirit looks rather dead. And Shamash peers over the edge to the body. And those bits of body, it's going to take a lot of attaching. But I admire your enthusiasm and optimism. Hally-ho, Shamash casts fly on himself. Woo! And he flies down the ravine. How deep is the ravine, roughly?
It's about 400 foot deep.
We
Cool. Flying through.
Even if he hadn't been
no.
attached to the rope, he was a goner.
Yeah. So, turn is 4 seconds, 6 seconds, isn't it? So
Yeah.
yeah, this will take about a minute for him to fly down, pick up as much of Emmerich as he can, and
Emmerich is still
I reckon.
one piece. He's
Oh, okay.
just all bones in his dead body are broken.
Yeah.
Imagine a sack full of sticks and pudding. Something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Shrash flies down to try and pick up his body and fly back up. He brings him and puts his crumpled remains next to the bonfire to keep it warm.
Okay.
I say, hey Bard, can you get your grandfather to swing that spirit on the rope round next to this body?
Yeah, he goes, of course! And then he just continues walking
Huzzah!
forward! Huzzah! And,
Forward,
he
grandfather!
just continues forward. And just so he drags the body into position rather than actually doing anything specifically. Then sort of does a quick 180 to the party and goes, ha! Of course. Yeah, so I'm imagining Abar's sort of move through the group just to drag the body into position.
So you're putting the two bodies next to each other ultimately.
Yeah.
The Spectrum
Yeah.
and the real. Yeah.
Finnan leans in at this point and goes, perhaps I could be of service. Brandishing his book of the Necroblicon.
We're not doing to poor chap here for Emmerich what you did to that Karahi. While Karahi is a good companion, we don't want him becoming a mushroom monster.
And Finnan goes, are you sure?
One mushroom monster is alright.
And he goes, oh,
Any more dead starts rising, I start burning.
I would say that
books away.
as you start to do this, quite a while has passed, you being on this cliff, and by this stage, I think you become aware the tower now, out of conflict, starts to at a very slow pace move out towards you. It's going to take a while to get to you. Seems like he's moving extremely slow. Quickly, you've seen him move most recently. He's moving at a snail's pace. He'll probably be with you in at least 20 minutes.
I think it's really fitting that the first time Zephyros sees us in months, we're quibbling about how best to revive a companion. It's like the broken corpse next to a dead ghost. And an extremely mutilated prisoner as well. That's very much our style.
I mean, the prisoner had it coming to him, let's be honest.
Yeah.
100%.
Speaking of, how tied up is he? Is he ready for interrogation?
Manacle. He's got
He's
manacle,
manacled.
but his two remaining arms.
I don't.
And he's
totally trust
basically
him.
naked.
Still don't trust him.
Do we feel like this fella might freeze to death, being an amphibian and all, without any
Well, he's
clothes on
an
him?
extra flyer.
That's true. Also, I really don't give a fuck if he does freeze to death, now that I think about it. Yep, forget that question. So Snubs turns around, pulls out his pipe and satchel of tobacco and fills it up.
Well, Nubs, we might want to ask him some questions, For example, I don't know if you've been thinking about it, but for example, maybe he could tell us what happened to Hecton, the king of the giants, or who killed the giant queen, or just why the fish people are interfering with the ordering of the giants to begin with.
Nubs glances over his shoulder as he smokes and says to Shamash, I don't give a fuck, mate, and just starts rubbing away.
Okay.
Sorry, Aiden, but just that felt so RP just to do that.
Never
Randomly,
apologise for RP.
Ungus is going to give the wet,
Thank you.
black, sinister cloak to Kurgi, and he's going to sort of drape it over him to give him like a little tentative pat on the shoulders to match his new mushroom assassin look.
Nice. He
His eyes glow red.
Oh, and sort of swishes it around him, and then pulls it tight around his neck like an old granny. He goes,
Again,
I feel like
Ungus kind of
with
winces, he goes, kind of smiling, kind of wincing, like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure about this.
With the new layer of moisture over Kurihi's body, you see almost like a back.
Oh, I'm really sorry. I need to cut out ever so slightly on that for me.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
The mic just dipped out. I don't know what it was, but
Sorry. When Kurihi puts on the cloak, you kind of see the moisture layer of this moist cloak give him vitality back.
oh, unbelievable.
Just imagining it's like a magic cloak, but its only magic property is that it remains moist. Just like, that's it. It's just a permanently moist
I
cloak.
think I read that about
He's a sea creature out in the middle of nowhere. He's got to stay wet.
Yeah.
I think I read there was like a list of pointless magical items, and one of them was a ring that was always a little bit wet.
Something is only pointless until you find an actual need for it.
Yeah.
Perfect need. Fidden sort of like slaps Kurihi on the back and goes, "There you go, lad," and then sort of like picks his hand up and goes, "Ugh." Like sort of throws the slime, I imagine.
I still
which is
feel
now
like
forming.
Kurihi has a couple of body parts still reforming, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got the baby arms at the moment, I think.
Even the neck that he had clamped like ever so vigorously
Yeah.
by the I can't remember what it's called, but his neck is now starting to expand back to its normal
Yeah.
to its normal width.
Oh dear.
And it sort of gestures for him to like sort of like chill out. And Kurihi heads over like nearish to Ghald because he wants to like keep him in sight. But he's like just sort of like leans back against the rock and goes, "Oh." It like wrapped up in his new cloak.
I'm just going to walk over to the body of Emmerich. And he's going to kind of grab his wrist and try and drag his real hand to touch his ghostly hand. And just sort of kind of like try and like poke it. And he's going to see what happens.
As you drag over Emmerich's broken mortal body and try and dissect the two, they meet physically, and you've seen Abard. He rides his grandfather as a horse. The ethereal has a physicality to it, and whatever this being of Emmerich's snapshot of last moment attached to the ethereal state is real in your world, in your plane. But his state is of that when he left. The two touch. They don't blend. They touch each other as if your hand touches them.
Unger kind of gives it another few dabs and then just kind of shrugs. Puts the hand down.
Emmerich's dead hand falls to the ground.
The corporeal body is dead and the ethereal body is dead.
Yeah, it looks like we need some stronger magic than we have currently to fix this situation. I wonder if he's in hell, says Nubs, rubbing his beard.
Hey, Bard, how we...
Abard turns and goes, "No, my grandfather is certainly not in hell.
Oh, no, not
It's
your
just an
grandfather.
ethereal plane."
Your grandfather's here with us on the ethereal plane, but the ethereal plane version of Emmerich seems to be somewhat absent, which must mean his spirit is elsewhere.
Ah, gotcha.
That's what I would demise.
Good point. Well, us Helmers only really know and believe in the ethereal plane, let alone others, so...
Alright, well, how would
Not
you
sure what
explain
you
it,
mean.
Mr. Helmer?
I mean,
He's just
I'm not...
sleeping. It's got to be somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, elsewhere, right?
Yes, where might that be?
Anyway, this Ghald fellow.
I
We
know,
should probably
yeah,
question him, right?
I agree.
I think he's going to need 5 before we do that.
I think we asked Zephyros what he knows about bringing back the dead, and if not, then I'm afraid Abar we're just going to have find another valet on our travels. It is a bit of a shame. Emmerich was starting to set some skills, but oh wait, don't we have that valet up in that northern town we lived in our house up there?
Yes.
I'm not sure he's quite a valet.
We do.
He-
You recall Barry,
Oh, Barry
Barry
the
the
Piss
Valley?
Goblin.
Sir
not
Barry
Barrick.
Pierce Gremlin.
So we told him to prepare the house,
Barry.
didn't we? And look after the house. He's been looking after the house for months.
I'm sure
Oh,
the
yeah,
house
that place
is more
better
than
be
capable of
sparkling.
looking after itself now, so maybe we should
So-
drag him along with
Let's have a new roof.
Sir Barrick, an esteemed Lord's Alliance member for
So
decades,
he says.
in his 60s, is looking after the abode in Bryn Shander, a house gifted to you by the Speaker of Essershain.
He
Yes.
just studied his face
That's-
by flipping a coin.
It's better than being homeless.
Oh, sorry. I was looking
But
at
I
my
digress.
notes for Barry, and yeah, we literally
We
decided
better-
to fate with a coin flip.
Now,
Should
I
we not,
seem to remember...
Signal.
Sorry,
Sorry, but I think that maybe if we set a signal for Zephyros and we can have a camp and at least have a short rest until he arrives.
Well,
What
do
say
you
you?
not see the fire? And he's
Yes,
going to be
that's
here in
one
about...
signal.
Yeah, what more do you want?
You can
I'll
do
tell you
fire
what.
stuff, can't you? You're pretty clever about that sort of thing.
I can do more fire stuff than the fire that's burning right here. A fire
Why don't you-
tall bonfire.
Why don't you shoot something out your ass or something? I don't know what you do. Just shoot something up in the air. Do it,
And
Stab.
as we
Produce flame to like light Finn Nubs' ass up as he's getting sassy.
Ah! There's no need for that. You've spoiled my britches.
Let's calm her down. Like the words Finn never thought he'd say. Zephyros is on his way. Ghald is incapacitated, and we've got a spectral valet to take care of. A former valet. This is a question. Abard's like looking down at his grandfather on the rope, and the lifeless corpse of ethereal Emmerich. Did the rope also go into the ethereal realm, and is it like permanently attached to his grandfather, so we can't actually get rid of the dead weight?
Abard would look at it and think, well, he's never unstrapped his grandfather's arm. Whatever is there is there. And looking around the waist of his grandfather, he doesn't know how he would be able to just open up that loop of rope.
Okay.
It looks pretty... I think in the back of Abard's mind, this is either a problem or a...
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll find some positive out of it. No, it looks like, from Abard's point of view, this is something that is a permanent thing.
Yeesh. Abard looks disgruntled and starts pondering.
Well, good.
Okay.
I mean, now we've got a bit of quiet time. Should we think about what we want to ask this fishy fellow when he wakes up? Because Emrich's clearly not going anywhere. Ghald is clearly not going anywhere. We've got 20 minutes to kill.
Finn
And
wants
we
to
can
know
just sit here and...
how he got here and where's the rest of his shit. Because there's no way he could get here without supplies. Unless he got here very quickly via some method. Probably magic, but I reckon there's stuff nearby.
I mean, that's true, yes. How did he get his fishy friends here nearby? What was that big fuck-off thing that attacked us and then ran away? Was that a summon? Or was it a someone they brought with him?
With that,
I don't know.
Let's take a piss break, and we'll come back.
Piss,
that.
right?
Nice.
Perfect.
Pissing, guys.
But to be honest, gonna be Frank.
Medica is getting out his Geneva Convention checklist. Like, okay, what can we
Burning
break
it.
today?
No, more like to check off all the
It
crimes.
doesn't exist in Faerun.
So,
Well, the list of Waterdeep, like.
Yeah.
Well, there were the Nomenberg trials, but we'll go back to
oh,
it.
Oh, the Gnomenberg. Oh.
I love that.
That's a long callback to a few years ago.
yeah, I do remember that. So,
Okay.
question-wise, people, what do we want to ask this fellow when he wakes up? Brennan, you said how he got here, where's the rest of his shit and his friends? I
Precisely.
suggested, where is Hecaton, the king of the giants, who killed the giant queen, and why are the fish people interfering with the orderlies of the giants?
I
But
get
others-
the feeling. Oh, sorry. Please continue, Schmatcher. I don't mean to interrupt.
No, well, I was just going to say others, what do you suggest? So,
Oh well.
I really could have just not finished that, you could have kept going, I'm sorry.
Oh no. Oh, I always do this. It's so awkward. I'm so
No, me
sorry.
too.
It's
It's
yes.
terribly embarrassing.
Isn't it just?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I used to do this all the time with my uncles.
It happens. It happens. I understand.
Oh, it does happen, doesn't it? Anyway, I wanted to say, I think we ought to ask. I just get the feeling that this chap here isn't the one who's the main fella in charge. He just doesn't have that kind of energy. I don't know how to otherwise describe it. I think we need to ask him who his main purpose is working for, or which lord, or which god, or I don't know. He just seems kind of like he's got that beta male energy, if I may put it that way. Do you see what I'm saying?
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
like,
definitely a
he does
bottom
keep going on about his master being amazing and everything. We should probably find out.
Yeah.
He
Just put him
does
in
have
his
information about the gods. We need to figure that out.
Holy shit!
gods
You just
or the
say something.
Gods.
Gods.
There are no
You said his
gods.
whole sentence there. I'm surprised. That's the first time you've done that in about 3 weeks. Very well done. Please join in more.
My facial expression is similar to Medica's.
Aymar dispels his grandfather with a clunk as he drops to the ground. Clunk. Don't worry, lads. We can put a zone of truth on him, and that way he can't deceive us.
That's a great
After
idea.
all that
Why
10
don't we all
minutes of
stand near him?
concentrating on bringing his grandfather immediately dispels it.
No,
Hi, Grandpa.
it's not wasted at all because he got to come in valiantly on a steed as a victor into the post-battle round. So for Abard, that's every moment well spent.
As you see Abard's grandfather just dissipate into the ether, you see the light shimmering down the cord, and you see Emmerich's ethereal body just disappear into cloud of ether and silver.
Medica.
Oh,
Abard
I hope we haven't-
Ah, shit. Anyway, we'll deal with that later. He'll come back, I'm assuming.
If
Yeah,
Zone of
Next
Truth
weekend is
doesn't
actual
work,
Emmerich's body.
Yeah.
Hey, Bard, I hope you didn't cast that now because he's still asleep.
What?
Hey,
Oh,
Bard.
no, yeah, it's not cast yet. I'm just saying. We can do
we can double our guarantees by also getting him my homemade truth serum I've learned to make. So we can cast a Zone of Truth and get the truth serum in him, and he's going to have to double, not lie.
Abard likes this because it's really we will get answers.
I'm just going to turn to Medica and say, what is in truth serum? How you make?
That is a secret I'm not willing to share so easily. But I say, we got the recipe from the person whose door we destroyed more than once.
Oh yeah, it was.
Ah,
I remember that place.
old.
Been kicking in
old-
some back doors, have you, Medica?
Old Vi. I think I own his shop now.
Yes, yes, you do.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
he's
rummages
deceased.
around and finds the deed to his shop somewhere in his bag of holding.
That is the place. he had the secret to this truth serum.
Do we have any more questions we want to ask? We're very keen on Torch, which I'm all down for, but we do need to make sure we're getting whatever we want out of him. We need to know what we're getting out of him.
Now,
Where
I've
are
gotta
his
point this
prisoners?
out. It's not torture. It's
Prisoners. Good
enhanced
idea.
interrogation.
That's true.
Abard once again beams with his diplomacy.
I would say at this stage, as you're kind of talking amongst yourselves about all the questions you want to ask, you now start to see the castle on a cloud of Zephyros, like stop overhead.
Well,
I'm looking
as if
up.
on cue. Says no, sorry.
You start to see just like these clouds form into a staircase, coming down from the cloud, forming the spiral staircase, and then slowly this large giant, and in his arm a man, as he starts to pass his way down the staircase. And you recognize the long bearded figure of Zephyros, a bald head, a light pigmented skin, slightly bluish green. As Zephyros reaches the final step, he stumbles and falls down onto his knees into the snow around you. The man that he was carrying, walking over to him, kind of putting his arm against him. They're only kind of 40 foot away from you. And you see Sirac of Sazale, who you met a long time ago in Bryn Shander. I'm really sorry, I don't know if the clicking is Charlie's jaw.
Charlie.
It sounds like someone's solving a Rubik's Cube or something.
I was thought it's like one of those like,
That was
hand
before.
cramping tools, like
Maybe like scrolling or something.
No, not scrolling. Can you hear it now? I'm going to do nothing.
No. Alright, and do the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can hear that.
Yeah.
Wow.
What is
How is
it?
it picking up that? That's weird.
Is it your headset like squeaking or
It's
something?
my headset
Hey.
moving on my head.
Oh.
Weird.
Oh no!
Wow.
That's crazy, really.
Oh my god.
The mic's in your camera as well, right? It's picking that up. Shit. Alright.
Okay,
Well,
yeah, but let's
Push to talk, I
continue.
suppose. Yeah. He's muted himself, that's fine.
Yeah, mute.
Hello, Zephyros.
Can you guys
Nope,
hear
so,
me alright? My
yes.
internet
Yeah.
fried out big time.
I didn't know you were gone.
Oh no, no, I
It's
thought it
gone
was just
again.
quiet.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can hear
we
you.
can hear it now. Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear us?
Andy.
Andy.
I can hear you, Andy.
Can you? Oh, God.
Have you?
Oh,
I
yes.
could.
Oh.
Yeah, I can hear you,
Oh.
but I'm worried that it's gonna start throwing out again.
Ooh.
Well, main thing to know
This
is
was
Nub's
like
gonna.
the same-
Oh, sorry.
This was like the
Please.
same kind of time it started frying out last time.
Mm.
So now I'm
Mm.
really nervous that anything I say is gonna start frying out. all the time.
People are starting to stream Netflix and stuff. Yeah.
It's gone. Fuck.
Oh. Maybe, can you hear me, Andy?
I think he might be having trouble now.
It's weird. It's like his webcam seems okay now.
Yeah. I'm thinking like remove the webcam and maybe that eases a little bit.
Yeah.
of his
Should we
bandwidth.
just close the
To be honest,
bandwidth down
all
and
of
just
our,
turn off
all of
our?
our webcams
Yeah.
is gonna
Oh, we
be
lost him.
for internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's done webcams off. Mail.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, we
Yeah, we-
removed our
We turned our
webcams
cameras
because
off
Yeah,
just to
yeah,
lower the
So
bandwidth.
it's, yeah.
might
It's
be
nice,
the
but we
bandwidth.
don't need it. It's not necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, there seems to be a big competition for bandwidth retardedness in my house. So yeah, sorry, I didn't hear anything you said in the last couple of minutes.
Now we were talking shit.
It was mostly bullshit. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Just bullshit.
So as Zephyros hits onto the floor, you see Sirac of Sazale, the person you met in Bryn Shander many months ago at this stage, kind of trying to like. I mean, he's not going to put him up. He's a giant. He's trying to hold him. But Zephyros looks exhausted and wasted from what you've just seen happen in the sky above you whilst you've been in your attack with Ghald.
Does he
Hello,
look?
Zephyros.
Yeah.
Sorry. There you
No.
go.
I was just
Pick up.
asking, like, does he look like just exhausted mentally or like physically?
Both. He looking at him, he looks physically drained as he kind of drops to the ground. And I think if you think about everything, he's exhausted from seeing this battle going on above you with lightning bolts coming out of the tower. From your memory, everything before that came from the tower came from Zephyros. He's going to be, I guess it is weakest right now after that onslaught of taking the scale of the amount of enemies that he had taken in the air.
But no injury.
Nothing direct, nothing that you can see. No,
Okay.
seems to be more, like you say, physical, mental exhaustion.
Noted.
Nubs goes up to him and says, "Zeffy!" Like, you know, have you seen Indiana Jones? Where like the character played by what's his name? British actor was in Sexy
The
Beast.
guy
I
plays
forget his name.
Gimli.
Yes.
Not Rhys
Oh.
Jones.
Griff Rhys Jones.
Not
Yes.
Griff Rhys Jones.
No. I'm thinking the guys. You've seen Sexy Beast, right? What's his name? Like he's always a
Gandhi?
lot of. No, like
Oh, the Cockney geezer dude.
Cockney geezer dude. Yeah, what's his
Ray
name?
Winston.
Ray Winston. Yeah, Ray Winston. In Indiana Jones always went Indy. You know, whenever he'd like
Is it Indiana
fucked up.
Jones?
The Crystal Skull, not the
Ah.
not the good films.
Oh
Anyway.
yeah.
That
Shit,
was my
yeah, I
2-minute
do.
explanation for a short reference. Yeah, that's what Nubs does.
I do remember that now. Fuck. I've only seen that film once.
You know, as if nothing had ever happened, and they're still on the same terms as before.
Yeah. Unger's going to rush to try and help Zephyros stay up using his strength.
Running over, you'd be able to prop him up, but you feel this huge weight that falls down onto your shoulders. This is a figure that is exhausted.
Zephyros, you alright there, mate?
Oh, it was a battle. Enough of me, though. Are you all okay?
Actually, our friend Emmerich here is suffering a bit from being dead.
Hmm.
I suppose you can help, can you? We can capture bring back his spirit, but his spirit is also dead when we bring it back.
But we can do it.
If the body is dead, then he's dead. I'm afraid. Lizard man. Come
We'll
on.
have to line our backup plan, eh?
Unger chuckles at him saying, "Listen, man."
Now, Zephyros, you might have seen this for a while, but there's no need to drop racial epithets straight away.
is essentially a lizard.
He's right. He is a lizard man.
Far
That's
more
right.
than a lizard than a dragon. No? Am I wrong? If I'm getting getting it wrong, then please do correct me. I don't know how you all talk about yourselves these days.
Well, I mean, it's just like me calling you a giant monkey, which I can see it. You have no other
Monkey.
monkey friend
Sure,
here,
he
by the
pokes his
way.
head up.
Unger looks jealously at Zephyros, says he'd quite like to be called a giant monkey himself.
So, Zephy, how you been, me old mucker?
Sorry, we
Haven't seen you
meant
in
to
a while,
write
have we?
to you.
We did
I
even
have
write to you
to Daggerford as well, but
so many times. We sent so many letters. Did they get to you?
And with this, Sirac walks up to the side of Zephyros. Let him recover. You tried to contact us, did you? We've been in Daggerford for... And he goes and pulls out a notebook from his side. 5 months.
oh, so the whole
Yeah,
party's
I
just kind of like looking at the floor and like looking at their feet.
I'm
Trust
sorry.
you to count days, Zephyr.
But when I met you all, as a minister of Tim, I gave up my life to move on to this. Granted, I have had an extremely invigorating time. I did expect somewhat of a bit of reciprocation in this relationship.
Oh, well, sorry, Sirac, says Nubs, brushing in. We've been a little busy ourselves, mate. Maybe you could ask us what we've been doing. Why don't you try asking that question, and then maybe you can sit down, get your notebook out, because I've got a list an arm long for you, all right? Been working day after day after day on this bullshit that's been going on with the Giants, and you've been sitting around in Daggerford, I don't know what, whoring most likely. No, probably not whoring. But, you know,
I'm just gonna look at Nubs and go, tiny man.
Sirac walks over to you now, Nubs, and he pushes you over, and I would ask you to make me a strength check.
okay. Let's go. A strength save or a strength check?
A strength save, he's pushing you.
Okay.
20.
Sirac rolls a 22 and he pushes you over and he stands
piss
over
off.
you. No, you listen to me, gnome.
Hey,
I have wait.
I'm
No.
just gonna now push you
Yeah,
around.
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no, Unga, no.
Well,
I can't believe you rolled
Grab-
22.
He doesn't even try to grab you back, Unger. He puts his finger up at you so sternly, with such force, that you stop. You realise that this is a man who is fucked off, and he looks over at Nubs and he straddles over his face. No, gnome. Listen to me. I'm the one who left my life for your little nobles. I am the one who sat in Daggerford for months. You said that you would come to us. Where have you been?
I mean, ever
It's all
said
very
we-
well getting lost in all of this. Where have you been?
No,
If you'll
no
allow me
offense.
to rise from the ground.
No. I am speaking to the gnome. Points over
Okay,
to
good
you.
luck.
Well,
I'm speaking
if you
to
look-
the gnome.
normally, where I'm from, when a gnome has another conversation with another gnome, we don't shove each other to the ground first and spit in their face as we're talking. So if you'll allow me to rise to my feet, sir, I'd be happy to tell you what's been going on. Or would you rather just push me around again? Perhaps that makes you feel a bit stronger, doesn't it, in your position? Oh, it's all nice being 6 foot tall and weighing over 90 kilograms and shoving around small gnomes. Yes, I bet that's something you learned back in the time of being a mayor, wasn't it? Well, says Nubs, rising to himself, dusting himself off.
Yeah.
We've been getting things done, my friend. Now, if you'd take a seat at the fire, perhaps you'll share a pipe with me, and you'll calm down, and we'll be able to go over what's happened.
Abard chimes in. I think what he's trying to say is, We were waylaid with our quest of finding information to help with discovering everything.
Abard, you know what? It's very easy to tell. It's very difficult to show. So, Bungerson, why don't you produce, from your sack of holding, some evidence as to what we've been up to do with these giants that destroyed your city?
Yes, I have. I have lots. I have big fat chief here. I have
That's Chief Gerzier.
cloud giant here.
We fought the Cloud Giants too.
He's
One to
got
one.
his sash of ears here. I have
Oh, there's another ear.
fire giant here.
ear.
Oh yes, the Chief of the Fire Giants. Yes, yes.
Here.
And the Hill
have-
Giants, we fought them too.
Lady giant hair. I have lower jaw thing of giant. Oh, yeah, I have
You
this.
could have got these from anywhere.
I'm
Have you ever seen a giant, Serac?
Zolka's runic spear hilt.
Ever
Yes,
seen a
we-
giant up close? Ever gone one to one with a giant, Sirac?
Have I seen a giant up close? I've been living one for 4 months.
Apart from Zeph, he doesn't count.
As Zephyros kind of looks up at you like, oh.
And Lisa, I'm pretty sure he was at the battle near Mara. So,
I know, Snubs, I forgot, but I know I'm just let me play it out this way.
Oh,
remember that one in Brinchando?
Yes, I know. Don't undermine me while I'm making a point. Snubs.
sorry.
Also, please
Very
remember, Sirac, that every time you were with us, we were attacked by giants because they can somehow detect your blood, or more specifically, your father's blood. So, as much as we would have liked to have had you with us, you can be a bit of a liability.
Yes, you're a danger to yourself and the realm, frankly. We're doing our very best to keep you alive.
We've also been forging new alliances, such as members of the Gauntlet, and I show him our token of membership.
Sorry, I'm going to turn the camera on. If people want to try camera on, because it's so much easier to roleplay when I can at least see people's faces.
Yeah, definitely.
No worries, no worries.
Let's see if it works. If not, because otherwise it's really hard. Sirac kind of looks down at all the ears that have just been smattered down on it. Very well, you may have done your slaying, but at least I've done some fact-finding.
Hunger's also
I know
going
I've
to point to Medica's head and just point at the helmet he thinks Medica's wearing. And this is important. I think your father was looking for it.
With those words, Sirac kind of stares at you, Unger. My father.
Yes.
What do you mean he was looking for that?
I think so. Yes.
That and much more, as far as we understand it.
That
Oh
is
yes, we've been
how
on the
many-
trail of your father for months now.
You found out more. Then.
Oh,
And
he seems to be the one who's the center point of all of this mess, frankly.
you left me
Yes.
sitting in Daggerford knowing this.
Would you have felt better if we'd told you?
My father that I've been estranged from since the minute I was born.
Yes. Your father is the reason, potentially, that these giants are at war. And the reason they're trying to kill you.
It's slightly more complex than that. We met a old dragon man called Roaring Hawk, who I think is now captured by these fish people. There's much to explain, however. Perhaps we should boil up a cup of a pot of tea and discuss it in a slightly less heated fashion.
Just as I suggested.
But
After my
tea is-
apology, we'll sit down and we'll have a talk about this.
How can it not be heated? Tea is hot.
It depends how you like your tea, but I get to your point, Unga, and it's well made and valid.
Finn leans in. As a master of brewing, tea can be hot or cold. Some people have it tepid, I've heard, in the Middle East.
Okay. Zarek says, and he walks back over to Zephyros. Come, friend. It's time to sit. Recover. With that, let's take a quick break. Grab a drink if everyone's
Yep.
cool.
Cool.
Nice.
We'll get
Absolutely.
straight back. Anyway,
Anyway.
so back over to yourselves. As now Sirac, Azazel, and Zephyros in a beaten form joined your party.
I might have to suddenly interrupt and go and help with a poo upstairs. Sorry. Just
No
as
worries,
we
man.
started this.
You got to do dad duty. It's got to happen.
Literally, I just got a message from Michaela saying
Those
I
are
have poo,
those
so
are
just
some of
going
the
back to
words
sleep
that
to
they usually give you some time, and I need to help with some poo upstairs. Like,
Yeah, to be fair, it won't be long.
We
It's
completely
pretty
understand.
fast, but
You
I'll
deal
try
with
to
your
understand.
poo.
You got to deal with
Yes,
the poo, man. Go for it.
I'll pass back to all of you. What do you do?
As Surik walked past Unga would like to grab him by his arm quite forcefully
Yes.
and lean in and say, "If you push my friend again, I'll do this to your face." And he points at Ghald's broken face, lying conscious on the floor, and then grins.
Oh, jeez.
Sirac observes you for a moment. That's fine. Just don't leave me alone again.
Sound fair?
In fact, you know what? You sent me on this journey with him, and points to Zephyros. I love him. But he's fucking weird.
Everyone in the party
He is a
nods.
flying sky giant.
He spends days meditating and suddenly doing this, where we're traveling 500 miles per hour through the air without a moment's warning.
Did you see all the dead seagulls? Many blood.
Did I see them?
bones.
I heard them crushing against the tower. Gave me nothing, no warning.
Very cool.
He just said, I have smelled something, and then we went. We'd been in Daggerford for months. I couldn't speak to him. He ignored me. Basically been on my own.
Why he ignore you?
Because he's doing this shit when he goes into his head. He's in there for far too long. I don't particularly trust him. If I'm being completely honest. He means well, but he has no handle on it. That power he has, he does not understand it.
And you do?
No, I don't understand any of it. I don't understand any of this that I've been brought into.
Nub sighs and dusts himself off. Yes, I understand you are frustrated, Sirac.
Who thought it? What did I miss? Sirac?
Sirac was
say,
explaining. Sorry.
This person here, this giant, completely lost in his own world.
But there is no need to take that first. Please, Shavash, carry on.
No, he is completely disconnected. He reminds me just of Zephyros. Speak, gnome.
Well, I will. And though you've been rather rude to me and shoved me around, I understand it's just your frustration speaking. Yes, we've all been there before. Though I may not look it, I'm older than you, young sir. And I see that wildfire in your eyes, the same fire I had when I was a young gnome. Especially when it's to do with family. Yes,
He looks down upon himself as a 30-year-old human male.
That's right, I'm 230 years old. I've been through it several times before. But that temper of yours might get you into trouble, sir. We really do regret not communicating with you. But frankly, I think things need to be coming down to a point, and this is probably the best time that we could ever discuss these things anyway. Because now we've made a final and important discovery. And this, well, what should we call him? Disgusting piece of filth we have in our capture now is potentially the key to solving all of these things. It's very well that Zephyros turned up as he did. The man, though he's strange, he's wise beyond our understanding. And whatever inkling or feeling that took him to the skies, well, I would just say that it played well to your fortune and ours too.
That is fair.
Would you help me up from the ground, please?
Of course. And he reaches his arm to pick you up.
Nub reaches out
Sorry.
and holds onto his. You're very
I'm
welcome,
sorry
young man.
For losing my patience.
I shouldn't have been so curt either. It's been a long day for us all.
He nods.
Hmm.
It's been a long time. I was entranced by the fact of travelling with a giant and a magician of sorts. It wasn't what I anticipated. But you say that you have been busy.
Yes.
We have been in Daggerford. I've been busy myself, and maybe I have some information to share too. But he looks down at Ghald. However, I feel that whoever this is may have more to share than any of us.
You consider yourself a long-leaf tobacco man?
I've never partaken, but I will in this moment.
Here, take my extra pipe. I feel you'll need it. Right. Abod, what say you? Should we load this man onto the castle? The floating tower, I mean?
Hey, bud.
Abod? You're squinting. What's wrong?
Yes. I was just having some wild flashback from
Yes, to whatever you
Oh.
said.
all the journeys we've been on. He's like
PTSD
flashing back to like
Oh!
gaining Emmerich's death, his journey, losing his brother. It's all been flushing, like the journey of just like having to retain that information and having a moment's break and then realizing, my God, they don't know half of what's happened to us. And realizing at some point he's going to probably have to explain that to them is quite a lot.
Abod, why don't you explain what's happened to us in the meantime? There's no, just...
Perhaps another time.
Sorry, that was just
you know what, like, in terms of there's an element of RP, but there's also an element of just being able to express what's happened. I'm happy to allow you that kind of moment where it's the nuggets of information for Zephyros and Sirac to understand what's happened. I would imagine that you would have that parlay of information share.
One of the nuggets Unger would like to contribute is Fart Cave. He's going to really emphasize the Fart Cave.
And the teleporting fart giants.
Oh, yeah. No, the Fart Goblins. Yeah,
Fart
we've got
Goblins,
Oinka Boinka, the Fart Cave. Unger knows that as the
Oh,
Fart
right.
Cave.
But I was just going to say, so we could like essentially summarize to you, the DM, just like we explain the journey we've been on through. Yeah, maybe we wouldn't need to like fully RP it out. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I'd imagine that he understands that. Sorry, I don't know which way I've got my mic around. I would imagine that you're able to explain like the base details of everything that has happened. Through fear of us.
In immaculate detail how bad the smell was in the Fart Cave, though.
Yeah, really layered on him.
Yeah,
It was
really.
like this, and like I imagine Unger Bogus and farts and like cups and throws it in his face. 10 times worse.
And he goes, oh, no, but worse.
Yeah.
I imagine as you're pulling kind of Zephyros around, like Zephyros is fully low energy, and he kind of puts a hand on Abard's shoulder. I felt you. You cheeky boy. I was meditating, and I saw you looking at me from the sky. We set off seeking the source of whatever it was I could cling to. And we met a friend of yours, Sungallen. He pointed us in the direction, and luckily, he kind of rolls over onto his back. We arrived just in time.
Not quite just in time, as Smash points at Emmerich's dead, broken corpse there.
Sirac points to the castle covered in albatross blood. I would say it was just about the right time.
Well, no, because Emmerich, our valet there, is clearly dead. He was a valued member of his party. I don't believe you can just, wash his life away by saying, "Oh, just in time." I'm sure he had thoughts and feelings, as most valets do.
And here, Shamash explains the backstory of Emmerich and everything Emmerich's been through.
Yeah, exactly.
At
You
the
rescued
end,
him from a vampire.
Zephyros,
Abard wipes a tear from his
I-
eye. Oh.
I am sorry. This is Zephyros now. I am sorry. We could not come quicker. But
Oh, Zephyros,
any-
we can't be angry at you, says Nubs with shining eyes, glistening with tears. Sorry.
it was any glimpse we could find of you. You had been away for so long. We were trying to find you, Sirac and I. And Sirac just like, "Pfft, both of us? You left me for a month, meditating, doing whatever the fuck it is you do. I lose track of myself sometimes." And Sirac turns around to you all. Well, there's a fair amount I learnt in Dagford, that's to be sure. Enough to be told, anyway. I had enough free time. And I think it all comes together with this one. And he points to Ghald. I think it all comes together. So let's join it all up.
The story of what you think has happened.
Indeed. We must share with him what we have. Show him the map. Oh wait, I have it. Here's the map, says Nobs, handing over Zephyros's map. Oh, by the way, there's also notes from your father, I believe. And he hands over those two. Yes, we've been on the trail for several months now.
When you say Zephyros, you mean Zelarin, right?
Sorry, Zeller. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
Roaring
that's
Horn.
cool.
Yeah.
Roaring Horn's map. Yeah.
Yeah, Zeller and Roaring Horn. Yeah, my apologies.
No, that's right. So as Sirac starts to pour over it, this is my father's. This was
Wow.
what he was searching for.
These are yours now. Surely they're your inheritance, but yes, your father made these.
Wait, what we are talking about? Which
Uh,
items?
The map.
the map
the
and the notes
map.
from Zeller and
Okay,
Roaring Horn.
no problem.
You want us to explain the map?
The map means
And your father's quest.
very, very little to me, if I'm being honest.
So, what do you know of your... Is it your mother?
Well, how would he know?
But I'm just checking, you don't know your mother, do you?
No.
Okay. I can break it down very quickly. Your father loved your mother very much. So much that not only did he create you, but he also essentially caused this whole war with the giants. Essentially, your mother and him were exploring deep archaeological digs and found some items called vestiges. However, your mother got trapped in some sort of trapped by some sort of illness, essentially. And because your father loved your mother so much, she was trapped in a stasis field, which meant time moved very slowly for her, while he found a way to fix whatever had happened to her. Some sort of ancient disease or plague, I believe. Please correct me, others. It's been a while.
We believe her name was Evora, your mother.
Yes, your mother, Evora. And so, to try and cure your mother, your father became increasingly obsessed with finding vestiges from the before time. Items of power that could, maybe if he gathered them all, raise your mother's sickness and release her from the stasis that she is apparently in somewhere.
Wait. What does anything to do with giants have to do with any of this?
Well, that's a very good point, and that's what we're still trying to figure out.
Well,
But
I think your father supposedly was told this story by a giant vagabond, and these artifacts themselves are the remnants of the old giant tribes from the time well before now.
Giant? They're like me. Quite big,
You're not that big.
but not
But
giant.
No, but you're not that big. But also, I think we're going back so far in time that giants maybe weren't quite existing as they are today, as far as I understand it. Or at least the giants also know of these magical items, and they have some significance in their tribes.
So
At least that's all I've been able to surmise.
They have great magical properties.
Very much so. And there seems to be some kind of rumor that perhaps the early humans stole something very powerful from the giants back in the mists of time. Perhaps this is
And ended
One
the
of the-
giant rule over this fair land.
indeed. As it seems to be the case, the giants were once the ultimate form of being on this plane of existence. And as we have seen from today, we have much a different situation.
I'm not even from this plane of existence. Well, my ancestors anyway. But that's a story for another time.
Yes, for instance, says I'm shrugging his shoulders. A good example in point. Anyway. But there have been no rumours of their whereabouts, well, ever since this happened. And an old friend of your father, Roaring Horn, was the one who told us this information and told us this story. Perhaps you've heard of Zeller and Roaring Horn.
He was a good friend of your father.
And a great pilot. Sorry.
Thank you.
yes, indeed. And if
Sorry.
you remember
warrior.
from early in the campaign,
That was it, sorry.
Sirac gave you a picture of a number of people together. This was quite a long time ago, so maybe not so much. It doesn't stick out as much, but it was a number of people standing at an archaeological site, and there was a dragonborn within there, and that is how Sirac had noted it back to ultimately coming from Roaring Horn. There was a name. He linked it all back.
Yeah. Been 3 years, but I vaguely remember this.
And Sirac at this looks confused, but ultimately not surprised. Are my mother and father alive? And you have to remember you're speaking to a 30-plus-year-old man at this stage.
That, unfortunately, is very hard to surmise.
We believe that
Just
your
don't
father has been heard of in the last few years, but we cannot tell his location. And yes, he may have perished, but he may be alive. Your mother, according to legend, is also preserved somewhere in stasis, but the hopes for her, I believe, are very slim.
He stands up and he takes a small stumble back. Fine. He turns to you all. I'm sorry. I felt so frustrated. So lost. And I appreciate that I have taken upon you tonight. I do appreciate everything that you've done. I may not understand it, even now. And he looks back down at Ghald's face. But I think it is time that we bring it all together. Because I believe that this is all intertwined. In my time in Daggerford, whilst, and he points to Zephyros, whilst he was doing his own thing, meditating, whatever he calls it, I had enough time to pry around. And it is not a pretty tale. A town that was once controlled by the Zentarim is now controlled by another force.
Say that again.
Sorry, did I cut out?
You said something about another
Sorry.
force.
The town once controlled by the Zentarim is now controlled by another force.
The Zentarim of Daggerford is now controlled by another force. And he points... sorry, he wouldn't have seen it, but he draws a movement around his arm. They all carry this marking around their arms. The town is ridden with it.
What marking, pray tell ye?
A tentacle wrapped around their arms.
A snail looking
That's also-
tentacle, perhaps? And Shamak
Snail.
shows one of the pieces of paper that they've found with a kind of snaily, tentacly picture that we have interacted with previously. I can find one and put it on screen if it's to be.
He nods. Looks similar to the markings that I've seen.
What about this? Unger says, grabbing the severed arm of Ghald from his bag and shoving it in his face, kind of to show him the tattoo.
Yes.
Again from the whole party.
And that's one we saw with Tortellini.
Yes.
And the
Who
jam
is-
pocket is not to be trusted.
Who is Tortellini?
He runs the jam pocket guild, which we apparently work for, but now I worry about their true meanings. Who controls them?
Very much so.
Tell me, what do you know of the Zentarim? As we thought he was known as the snail. But then we realized the snail and the tentacle was the same.
The Zentarim has been a old trading network for many years, decades. It maybe has shady affairs. The Zentarim is hidden in far darker. But the Zentarim have been a long lost group of people. More a lost group of smugglers, traders. But their network is indeed deep. And what I saw in Dagford was the arrival of the Red Wizards of Thay.
Red Wizards of Thay?
Three things come together. The Zentarim and whatever it is, this cult from the sea, and the Red Wizards. They form a pact of unknown evil. But they work to one goal. That is what I was trying to decipher in Dagford. Dagford is the Zentarim's old home. But it is very different since when I first met them.
Can Finnan do like a history check on the Res Wizards of Fate to see if he has any relevant knowledge?
Yes, absolutely. Go for it.
He rolled a nat 1, but because I'm a halfling, I get to re-roll and it's a 12.
With the 12, the Red Wizards of Thay are beings that seem to have their foot in many affairs. However, their footing within this, so far west of their world, Thay is east, even further east than Tamantha or anything like that.
The warm tea drinkers.
Were the Red Wizards the ones who were involved in our campaign with that one shot with Billy and Blurst? Am I wrong? Or no? This is out of character right now, by the way. Just asking.
They were alluded to in the Platinum Dragon.
I'm gonna do a Donald Trump like.
William Burst is the leader of the Red Wizard.
Yeah, currently he is, yeah. Or at least the skeleton of Billy and Blurst is, yeah.
On his wheelchair.
Yeah. The flaming skeleton of Billy and Blurst. Still has a beard, by the way.
Just imagining going through that portal every time now.
I can finally see with his no eyes.
Yeah.
Such a Hellraiser plot. Sorry, yeah. Please continue.
I never thought the Red Wizards would be caught up in all this. It concerns me. It goes much deeper than it should.
Do you think the Red Wizards are the ones who are manipulating the giants?
I think the Cult of the Sea have more to it. I think the Red Wizards are just another player in the grand scheme of things. But tell me, Sirak, what do you know of the Red Wizards?
I think we may have lost Andy again.
You might be right. He was very intent on his next sentence. Oh no, we lost him.
He's got to go away and think about it for a
I'll
while.
just turn,
he's here,
turn
yeah.
my webcam off.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I'll turn mine off.
I'm going to do the same.
Yeah, sorry.
I think it's just a bandwidth thing.
Oh, we can just watch Charlie now. Hello, Charlie.
Yeah.
Hello.
Can see you.
Zoom
here.
in on his
Full
face.
screen. Oh God! Wow.
That's actually pretty good.
It doesn't
That's
seem to
pretty
help,
impressive.
which is the
Not
weirdest
gonna
thing.
lie.
Oh, damn.
Let me try and switch. Okay. The question to Sirak was, what do you know of the Red Wizards of the Thay?
Yes.
He shakes his head. I only know what they look like. Bald heads and red capes. Bad news. That's what history teaches us, anyway.
Perhaps we can get more information out of Ghald about his potential Red Wizard overlordness. When he
Yes, I'll
comes
add it to the list.
Can Finn poke Ghald with a stick to see how conscious he is.
He's very unconscious.
Okay. I'm still gonna poke him.
I mean, he took a huge beating.
He might be in a coma.
Definitely prodding him and being like, oh yeah, he ain't going nowhere.
He'll be
He
back.
may even not wake up.
We have ways of getting around that. Finnan sort of hints at putting the Necrogoblicon back out of his bag, then puts it away quickly.
Hunger's been scratching his now hairless chin, or at least stubbly chin. Sounds like giants aren't worst problem. Fishy men and shiny head red men.
But the giants have been a distraction all along.
When Unger says shiny head, like Medica tenses up a little bit. Then he says a red cape man, like okay.
Good for you.
And at this stage, Zephyros kind of just like slumps down into the snow. He's so exhausted that he just kind of starts letting out this like horrendous snore as his like you hear his gullet collapsing on itself.
Should we maybe all I noticed it's getting darker. Maybe all try and get into the castle and wake Zephyros off. Maybe get somewhere just sort of out of the way.
Yes. Castle.
Yeah.
We go
I
to
imagine
castle.
more bird people are on their way.
We'll bring Emmerich's corpse and perhaps we can give it a sky burial, as is my tradition, or if anyone else knows what his traditions are, we can do that. But
Yes. Someone help me with Zephyr.
Sirak goes to reach under him. Don't worry. I'm very used to lifting him up areas where he can't reach anymore after his long affairs.
long affairs, you say?
Like I said, he's
Oh,
been
yeah,
meditating for a very long
great.
time. Some nights I'll try and speak to him and he'll be irresponsive for at least 16 hours. So I have to put him to bed somehow.
How does
The
he?
brewery's back home.
You say he meditate for a month one time.
Yes.
How does he poop?
You feed him.
He doesn't seem to need feeding, but I still have to chuck it off the edge.
So he poop pants.
Yes.
Mm.
He seems to wake up every time thinking his robes look so immaculate.
Now I see why you are stressed.
Just quite annoyed. Frustrated.
Big baby giant.
Baby's the word, yes. It's a bit different to what I imagined it, if I'm being honest.
Yes, this is something I never thought about before.
Anyway. He'll be fine in a few days. It takes him a while to get going again. What he did up there was quite spectacular. Probably saved you all from a horrendous death. But he will be out of action for several days now. He comes and goes in these bouts of energy. One day he'll be like, I'm blasting all over. And then the next 5 days he'll just not say anything to me.
I feel that way sometimes, but that's not terribly polite.
So, imagine as you all move up into Zephyros's castle, bringing Ghald with you. What do you do?
I guess
Shamash looks for
after you, Shamash.
Aye, that's everything. Shamash looks for food. Can I say more? Hey, Sirak, is there any food in this castle?
Yes. What Jeffros has tended to do is just summon a bunch before he goes off into these little weird moments. So I've had enough to deal with. I'm sure we can find something. I've been putting some stuff into a store cupboard. Come with me.
Thank you.
I would say Medica when we placed the I can't remember his name, the prisoner guy with 2 hands instead of 4.
Ghald.
When we place him somewhere secure, Medical will place himself in the same room, but on somewhere where he can always have an eye contact in the place where he is and start like resting.
Okay.
Binnen's gonna guide Kurihi up the steps up to the castle and say, "Make yourself at home." Kurihi's gonna start like climbing about in his new cape, still like he's holding it tight around his neck, his head still like with one hand, whilst going, "Ooh," like scooting about. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, no, pretty much like because Finnan's got his half mask face on still as well. And Finnan's going to be like once we're all up there, everyone else is setting up. So Finnan's going to set up his brewing kit, which is he blows the dust off it after the last catastrophic failed attempt, which partially led to his also his face being melted. He goes, right, let's get back to it, and begins to set that up in the corner. He also is going to turn to Abar and say, perhaps we should see if we can move this castle from here. Do you remember how to fly it? Abar turns around and goes, no, not a jot. Zephyros always handled that. We turn back to our boy and say, do you know how to fly the castle? Did he show you?
Yes. Sirak would turn to you all and say, this castle cannot fly without him being in the right state of mind and fitness. We won't fly anywhere for at least another 3 to 4 days.
We can stay hovering here though, right?
You can stay up here, yes.
Perfect.
Battling on the ground.
Yeah. I suppose we need to keep an eye out for those bird bastards. So.
Well, we shouldn't forget that we're not so far from one stone. Or rather...
One stone.
No, the other stone. What was it called?
Bay Runner. Bay
Give me my
Run as well.
backpack. Bay Run as well. Sorry.
Well, perhaps we should sleep for tonight and then leave this chap here to recover and head to Bear Run as well. I mean,
But how can we sleep when we're so excited? Sorry, yeah, you're right. We should sleep.
I know it'd be a tiring day for me, that's for sure.
Sleep.
Sleep
We can
first.
hit Bear Run as well in the morning. How does that sound?
Very good. We can even discuss more details of our plans and what might be behind all of this malarkey going on with the giants in the morning.
And perhaps this fishman will wake up and interrogate him in the morning before we go to the well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Before we go to sleep, we should really put him in something very constrained. I mean, I'm not sure your manacles are just fine, but he seems, to possess mental powers beyond our comprehension. Perhaps we have some kind of, I don't know, cell or holding area we could put him in for now.
We could take his legs off.
We
Doesn't
could
he
take
get
his legs off.
but maybe let's tape his mouth shut so we can't whisper any incantations.
Yeah, that's
Well,
a very
let's
good
put something
plan.
in it as well.
Oh,
yeah. that's
hold
a
on.
good shout.
There's Nubs taking off one of his old, sweaty socks. You could use this.
Perfect.
My
Yeah,
God.
shove that in his gob. And then bind it closed with some, I don't know, old linen cloth or something like that would be good enough.
And his arms are manacled together.
Indeed,
And that arm
though
with the tattoo is gone.
I will just say the boring thing, and I'm sorry to say this, gentlemen, but perhaps we should sleep in shifts just to keep an eye on him in case he gets a little bit, spicy.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, afraid
Maybe
so.
Already
I'll-
trying to stay awake, but he's just like, just falling a little bit
Nodding.
already. He's
Finn
keeping
offers
watch.
to take the first shift. He's like, well, I've got to spend a bit of time setting up this brewing kit, so I may as well keep an eye.
You are a good man, Finnan. I will take second.
Nice.
Is there a possibility for the last shift?
Yes.
I mean,
I think
Exactly.
probably
Some
3
more
shifts
shifts,
probably
that's better.
cover the entire night.
I'll get up early in the morning then and just fellow.
So you cover the 3rd shift, and that should probably get us through the whole night if we all take a couple of, maybe 3 hours each or something like that.
But that's only 3 of us taking 3 hours.
3
But
hours.
if we do
9 hours?
we-
I don't think the sun will be away for much longer than that, even at this time of year.
Yes, but what if 6 of us all take a shift?
I mean, but, but then we just have to wake up at. Sure. I suppose we can all take shifts. That
we can
feels
almost
more
have
fair
a
to
long
you.
rest each. Rather than a few have a short rest and everyone else gets along.
If
Fine, I'll
everyone's
take
looking
a
to
short
just like
rest,
do
that's
this and take a long rest, then we can just like find a mechanism for
Could we
that.
have a lion, perhaps?
Yeah, of course we
Yeah.
can. There's no set wake up time. It's not a fucking hotel. It's just you have to check out.
Let's have a lazy day tomorrow then, and just snooze it off, right? In shift.
I'll make breakfast. So Snubs.
I,
What do you
for
say?
one, cannot wait for a lazy day.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, I remember hanging out in this place and having lazy days. We did that before, didn't we? Do you remember? We just hang out in his garden. It was so sweet. Did you say did we, Finnan? We absolutely did.
I just remembered. Oh yeah. Then we crashed into that small village.
Yeah, we won't talk about that part. But yeah, we absolutely had some chill times here.
Feels so long ago.
But yeah, I guess to go a little bit meta above this, I guess we would say that we do some kind of shifts where everyone is allowed to have a long rest to some extent, but he's always being watched at the same time. Would that be possible?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
So, what I will say then, given the time, we will kick off next session where you've all had ample enough rest where
Excellent.
you feel rested to the point where you can stabilize Ghald. Yeah.
Taking a long rest now then. Nice.
Perfect. So,
Sweet.
yeah, what a
Yeah,
what
Ruri.
a session. We have learned a lot, I think.
Just excellent. Cheers, boys.
Yeah. Cheers.
And cheers, Andy. And
Yeah, big time.
congratulations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
massive congrats, dude. How's it feel?
Andy